Alright guys, welcome to this video series of using Scrapy to do web scraping and web crawling. In this video we are going to be learning how to install Scrapy inside your computer if you are using IDE or a software like Sublime Text, Atom or Notepad++. So for the purposes of this video, I'm going to be assuming that you decided not to use PyCharm IDE. But if you for some reason decide to use the PyCharm IDE, you can always go back to the previous video. PyCharm makes the whole process of installing and using Python and Scrapy a lot easier. But it's fine if you decide to use Sublime Text too. So the first thing you need to do to install Scrapy on your computer is obviously you must have Python. So you can just go to the official website of Python and install the latest version of Python. In my case, it's Python 3.7.1. After you have installed Python, you can just go for your text editor of your choice. In this case, it's Sublime Text. So after you have installed Sublime Text, it's going to look somewhat like this. So what I want you to do is create a new folder called Scrapy tutorial, just like I have if you want to follow along, and then open that folder inside Sublime Text. After you have done that, we are going to follow a particular set of processes which I'm going to paste over here. So obviously the first process is done, that you have already installed Python and Sublime Text. Then the second process is actually to create a virtual environment. Now what is a virtual environment and why do you need to install one? So a virtual environment basically isolates your project from the rest of the computer. So for example, if you install any kind of package inside your Scrapy tutorial folder, it's not going to be installed in the rest of the computer. And vice versa, if you install some kind of package in the rest of the computer, then it's not going to be installed inside the Scrapy tutorial folder. So for example, if we install this Scrapy package inside the Scrapy tutorial folder with the virtual environment activated, then Scrapy is just going to be installed inside the Scrapy tutorial folder and not in the rest of your computer. So it's kind of useful to isolate your working environment from the rest of the computer. Now the process of installing a virtual environment and creating a virtual environment is pretty easy. You just need to follow these steps over here. So in our case, I'm using Windows, so I'm going to be opening up my command prompt. Because you may be using Linux or Mac, then you can open up your terminal. So what you need to do is you need to install this package known as pip env or pip environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write pip install and pip env and just press enter. Now I already have pip env installed inside my computer, so it's just going to show that requirement already satisfied. But when you write it on your computer, if you don't have pip env already installed, it's going to install it. After that, it says create a virtual environment by typing in virtual env and then full stop. So first you need to go to the project folder. In our case, it's Scrapy tutorial, and this project folder is inside my E drive. And I'm just going to change my directory by writing cd, which stands for change directory. And I'm just going to write the name of my Scrapy tutorial. So I'm just going to write Scrapy and Scrapy tutorial, and I'm going to press enter. After you're inside your project folder, as you can see, it's totally empty right now. You just need to create a virtual environment by typing in virtual env and then full stop. So I'm just going to write virtual env full stop, press enter, and it's going to create an environment for us. You just have to wait for a couple of minutes. After the virtual environment has been created, you need to activate the virtual environment. Now if you're using Windows, you can just paste this /scripts/activate, but if you're using Linux and Mac, you need to type this bin activate on your terminal. And because I'm using Windows, so I'm just going to copy this from over here and I'm going to paste this on my terminal. And make sure that you write this this code of .scripts and activate inside the folder that you have created a virtual environment in. So I've created the virtual environment inside my Scrapy tutorial folder. So I'm going to paste this over here and press enter. And as you can see, there are these curly braces over here, not curly braces, just braces over here, the brackets over here, and it's written Scrapy tutorial over here, and this means that our virtual environment has been properly activated. Now if we write something like pip freeze over here, you'll be able to see that we don't have any packages inside our Scrapy tutorial virtual environment. What pip freeze does, it basically shows what kind of packages are inside your virtual environment, and right now there are no packages. So let's install Scrapy inside our Scrapy tutorial folder after this virtual environment has been activated. As you can see, this is the third step. So how do you install Scrapy? It's pretty easy. You just write pip install Scrapy, and in this Scrapy package is going to install other packages, so this might take a little bit of more time depending on the speed of your internet. So I'm just going to wait for this installation to be completed. So after Scrapy has been installed, we can just type in pip freeze again to see what kind of packages are installed inside a Scrapy tutorial folder. So now you can see that Scrapy is installed, but not just Scrapy, a lot of other packages are installed with Scrapy, but obviously Scrapy, as you can see, the 1.5.1 version is also installed, but it requires other packages. So that is why Scrapy has automatically installed other packages for you. Now what I want to do is I want to create a project now, but before that I just want to show you the project structure inside this Scrapy tutorial folder over here. Now if you open it up, it includes or it has a lot of weird folders like include, lib, scripts, and TCL. Now all of these folders are actually because of the virtual environment, so don't worry about them. They are not the folders of your Scrapy project, but don't delete them because of these folders a virtual environment has been created inside the Scrapy tutorial folder. But just don't get worried about it, like what are these folders. Now we are going to be starting a project inside Scrapy, and that is the most beautiful part of Scrapy. You can just write Scrapy over here and then you can just start the project. And we are going to be in the next couple of videos, we are going to be creating a quote web scrapper. So I'm just going to be writing quote tutorial over here and pressing enter. Now what this will do is that it will create a project structure for us, and it says you can start your first spider with cd code tutorial. We don't need to do that because we are using Sublime Text. And now if we open up our quote tutorial folder, as you can see, it has a lot of files installed in it. Now we are going to go through this project structure in the next video, but for right now we have successfully installed Scrapy inside our computer with Sublime Text. Now just for the purposes of the future videos, I'm going to be using PyCharm. So my project structure is going to be like this, just like in Sublime Text. There's not a lot of difference. And instead of using command prompt or terminal, I'm going to be using the terminal that is inside PyCharm from over here. Now the virtual environment inside PyCharm is actually over here. It has been created for us by PyCharm. So you don't need to create a virtual environment in PyCharm, but it doesn't matter because we have created a virtual environment for us by using pip env. So guys, this is pretty much it for this video. From the next video, we are going to be creating a web scraper for our first project, that is scraping quotes of authors from a website. So I'll see you in the next video.